writing myself, to myself, just for myself. So that part wasn't as different, but what made this experience different, if any, is that it was my expression. You know, it's like, how can I put into words how I feel? And at first I found myself really frustrated, and it's like, people ask me, how do I feel, what do I think, how do I feel about like myself and my story from my perspective, and that was the best way I could put it into word form. And so that made it different to be able to write in music form how I feel, you know. It made it, I guess, more rewarding in a way, because it's like I'm actually talking to someone else, and someone else will hear this. And even now I sit and say, wow, this came from me, and now to hear it come out of someone else's mouth, like, wow, that's stemmed from me. So it made it even more rewarding for me. I would have to say learning from them, you know, like working with Alicia. It's like, wow, so I mean, I can do that one day. Maybe I'll be producing and writing for other artists one day. And I kind of like, I get to see, I saw myself through them, you know, and working with them and learning from them. Like, okay, just building up myself through them. Yeah, now I want to. Before I hadn't even thought about it, but watching them make me say, okay, I could do that, and I want to do that too. We have a very good relationship and working relationship, and a little history together, like from filming together, and then being under Clive Davis and same label, and we've done quite a few events together, and then being able to relate to each other as mothers. Like even when we were recording, she was still pregnant, and I was telling her, you know, giving her tips like, okay, don't work too hard past your due date, because I just went through this. So I'm telling you, you might want to go rest up, because you're gonna have the baby. And like, not even by the time I think we finished recording Abel, the next day she was having a baby. I said, I told you, you know. And even now we exchange, you know, she's like, I would bring my son to the studio, and she's like, well, is this what I have to look forward to? And I'm like, this is exactly what you have to look forward to. So yeah. I just finished the film of Winnie, and I play Winnie Mandela, and it's the biopic of her story. And a lot of people think it's about Nelson Mandela, but it's Winnie's story, and that's what made me want to be a part of the project, is that I had no idea of the contribution that she gave in the apartheid struggle, and then to the world as well. So that's what made me want to be a part of that project. So I spent 4 months in South Africa, 4 months filming that film, which we wrapped in September of last year. So look for that maybe in the fall of this year. Mm-hmm. I use the same formula, you know. It's like, let it be real, let it come from a real place, you know. It's not, I always say I don't act, I react in the moment, you know. It's like, well, what would Jennifer do, and how would Jennifer feel right here? And then I try to find things, like even with a character like Winnie, well, how can I relate to this? Like, for example, when I was there, one of the approaches like I like to take is, I wasn't able to take my son, and so I didn't get a chance to see him for almost 4 months straight. And Winnie, but I use that for the character, because Winnie was stripped from her children and was taken from them for 2 years. So I use that for the role. Like, well, that will make, when I have to portray this moment, it'll make it that much more real to me, since I won't be able to see my son. So I use that for the character. So I just try to make it real to me in some kind of way. It surprisingly came, I won't say easy, but it wasn't nearly as difficult as many would think, because I give it the credit to Weight Watchers being such an amazing program, and I think it was a great collaboration between us, because the program, the way it's structured, is the way that what I was trying to do, but it just taught me the right way of how to do it. And so I'm a spokesmodel of Weight Watchers as well, and so that has helped me maintain and also reach my goal. Oh my God, well, I have always had a love for fashion, but it's even worse now, because I can't wait till the next morning to figure out, to put on what I'm gonna wear the next day. I mean, at night I'm up like, oh, what am I gonna wear tomorrow? I was just here and I'm like, I should be asleep. I woke up at 4 in the morning because I'm like, I got clothes on my mind. You know, I need to figure out what I'm gonna wear. That was yesterday, actually. But it's fun because I feel like my own little doll, and I get